Hello, my friend.
If you knew what it takes to run a business.
Hello.
Hello, friends.
How are we?
We're good.
So we've got
We're
a special
surviving.
guest coming in later.
We do.
But they're not here yet. So we're just going to get the ball rolling.
Have a little warm up.
Have a little chitty chat.
Yeah.
So I'm Ashley.
I'm House.
And welcome to our suite.
Welcome to the sweet life.
The sweet laugh.
It's not been that sweet lately.
Really?
No.
Well, today specifically, we're going to be talking about running a business.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it like running a business?
It's
Helena?
difficult.
I think people don't take on board like how hard it is to run a business. Like I think we touched on in the previous episode, like right now our lives are quite like hectic because we are running a business, running a podcast, running our own personal businesses. We're starting a fourth business.
And I think anybody who works for themselves, no matter what they do, if they even just do one thing, like
It's hard.
it's 24/7. Like you are online, you're not doing a 9 to 5 and then clocking off.
And the thing is, I have a lot of respect for people who like do 9 to 5s. They clock off at 5, then they go home and run their personal business.
Yeah,
it's a lot, you
that's
know.
a lot.
It's a lot. Like, and the thing is, like, although you have so much freedom, being a business owner, you have a lot of freedom because once you get to the point where you're making like money, you get to like you can go to Pilates on a Tuesday at 10 if you want because you're on your own time. However, you're on your own time, which means you always feel like you need to work.
Yeah.
Like there's no switching off. Like I will sit down a lot of the time in the evening around, if I'm at home around 7:00, if I haven't got any events that evening or anything out to be doing that evening, and I'll watch TV on my laptop. So I'll still be answering emails. I'll still be editing something whilst watching TV. Like I don't remember the last time I sat down and just like watched the show.
No,
And like
I'm
fully gave it my dedication.
I'm literally like on the laptop at the same time, and then I always have to pause and rewind, pause, rewind. Like I can't watch things properly. But it's hard. You are like I feel like I'm on my laptop like a lot of the time, like 8 a.m. all day until like 11 p.m. Like I don't. And then it's also like, you start doing one thing, start doing another thing. And then it's like the life admin and all the other things that you have to do and log into and do this and do that and do your orders and returns and whatever else. Like it's all these other little things that then you start like sidetracking and whatever.
I think also the thing is that like eventually the aim with running your own business is that you get to a point where it's like automated. So like money's coming in and you don't have to work. But there actually aren't that many businesses that are like that. Until you get to a point where you've got a team who are taking control of things, taking care of things.
Yeah.
You are essentially always on. And even then, I don't know how easy it's going to be to delegate everything.
Yeah, unless you're like the CEO who like, and like they buy you out and you're still like there
Like
as a
silent
percentage.
partner.
Yeah, then you don't really have that much of a say.
Silent partner must be absolute joy.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you do?
How do I become a silent partner?
Well, if we both become silent partners, then there's nothing
Then there's silence.
Yeah, legit.
There's no business.
Yeah, it's hard.
What it takes to run a business.
It's been super challenging recently.
Okay, well, what's some of the benefits of running your own business? Let's talk about the benefits.
Definitely the freedom. Like just working for yourself. Like you can just say, okay, cool, I've had a good month. I'm gonna do nothing, which never happens to me.
But you could also work from Bali.
Yeah, that too.
You can
well,
also,
not always actually.
It depends, but like you can get to a point with most businesses where you can like fuck off to Bali or fuck off somewhere else and work there. Like, and I think that is definitely a massive benefit. Like, how many people do you know who can just be like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to Bali on Tuesday, work from there, see how it goes, and then if it doesn't work out, I'm just gonna go back to London.
Yeah, not
really.
Mm.
Like, so that is I think that is a big benefit.
Getting like good opportunities.
Most of that for us comes from content creation.
Yeah, being a creator.
Which is still essentially like a business in itself. Like you got to wear all the hats. Like I think that's what people forget when you're a content creator. Like you are the admin, you are the HR, you are the photographer, you are the finance team, you are the beauty team, the debt collecting team, you are the makeup artist. You are the driver.
Email admin, yeah. Everything.
You're everything. Creative director.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a lot
what
of
I'm
hats.
struggling with at the moment.
It's a lot of
just
hats.
being everything, the editor, like how is there enough time? I'm like, I have to start waking up at legit like 4 a.m. to fit everything into a day.
I can't fathom waking up at 4 a.m.
Even yesterday, like I woke up, I was like, cool, like I've got my thing, I'm on my laptop all day. And the next thing you know, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock and you're like,
sometimes I feel like I sit on my laptop, I'll get up, I'll get my laptop at like 8:30, which is before office hours, an hour and a half before office hours start.
Office hours start at 9, hun.
Sorry, 7:30. I'll get to my laptop at 7:30, an hour and a half before office hours start, and I still feel like by 9:30 I've done nothing.
Yeah.
I felt like when we were in Bali, it was better because we would have like 8 hours before office
Yeah.
hours started, so we could get on job.
I'm very stressed about being in New York next week because I'm gonna be behind. So I'm gonna be
You know
waking
what?
up 5 hours after life, and that's already giving me anxiety.
Yeah. When you lot were like, let's go to New York, I was like, I don't think I can add that stress to my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much.
I mean, I'm excited. I paid £80 to go to New York, so I'm like, sign me up, baby.
But you're not excited about stress.
No, because I think it's because I have to work at the same time, and obviously I've got
Yeah.
a lot on. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's always a good time.
What made you want to start your own business? Like, work for yourself?
I got fired.
Me too.
Yeah, everything usually starts from getting fired.
Yeah, I got fired.
I got fired, and I was like, they need me more than I needed them. And I was like, I've got the skills. Like, obviously, I started off like doing social media because I'd worked in social media before that. So I was like, I'm gonna just do my social stuff and see what happens and whatever. And you're just like, if you've got the skill, then what's the problemo? But it is hard having like, because I remember my ex was self-employed. He worked for himself, and obviously I was working in an office. And I remember every day being so jealous. I'm like, you just get to get up when you want, do nothing the whole day, just chill.
Yeah, but he was a DJ, right? So like,
Yeah, and
he was even more flexible than what we do.
Well, I used to come home from work, and he'd still be like on the laptop, and I'm like, you've just switched on your laptop an hour ago. But actually now I see that like, it's a thing where he's probably doing the same thing as me, where he was probably on the laptop like the whole day.
Yeah, like admin.
Sorting out other things or whatever.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
when
like,
when you cut out a commute, you save a lot of time. You've
Do
got a lot
you?
more time to work. Yeah. If you're commuting to the office 2 hours a day,
well, yeah, but you're also clocking off at 5:30, 6 o'clock every day.
do you though? Not everyone does. I never used to. I used to work late every day. And it used to be that whole like toxic environment of like, so no one's leaving at 5. So I'd look around at 5, no one's left, so I'd carry on working.
Yeah, same.
And
I
then
had
I'd
that
feel
too.
guilty to like leave on time, you know. And then I remember like sometimes when I'd be like, okay, I actually have to leave on time today because I need to be somewhere, and I had to make it known, like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm
you
gonna leave. I need to
did.
leave on time today because I've got this, and I have to have a
Yeah.
reason.
It has to be a
not
reason,
not just that I want to
yeah.
go home and watch The Simpsons. I have to have a
Yeah.
reason,
Yeah, it's true, you know, which is
which
actually
is
really
so fucking
sad.
crazy and toxic, really and truly. I feel like work culture in the UK is awful.
It is.
It's so bad. I feel like people like
I don't know
live
how
and
it is now
breathe.
post-COVID.
I've heard
I
it's
remember
just as bad. I think
pre-COVID,
it's
it
gone
was
back to how it
awful.
was.
Yeah, and definitely my first ever jobs where like you feel like you have to like, you know, when you're young you feel like you have to stay behind. Like I worked in fashion before, and like, oh, when it was fashion week I'd literally sometimes have to stay behind not doing anything because like I was scared to like leave.
Yeah, same.
And
same.
then the only thing they'd make me do is like take the bin out or something. So the whole time we waiting like 2 hours, they'd be like, take the bin out, and I'm like, okay, like that's nuts.
Yeah, I used to just sit there and I
So
used to be
crazy.
like going on Facebook and stuff, like bored as hell. And even, do you know what? Even when I remember I became a freelancer because I used to be an interior designer, and I had this freelance job once. And for 2 weeks, they were paying me £250 a day. For 2 weeks, I had nothing to do. And I came in every day and I was just scrolling, and I just used to make sure
It's like that,
I made sure I had
freelance.
Pinterest up, so that if anyone walked past, I could just pop Pinterest up to make it like I was looking for ideas for like inspo or something. But I was literally doing nothing for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
used to have like the dark screen thing on my computer.
oh, did you? Good,
Yeah.
smart. Yeah, I was just like
So
doing fuck all for 2 weeks, and I was thinking, I've just got paid over $2,000 just to like do nothing.
Yeah, that happens a lot with freelance stuff.
does,
They're
it
just
does.
not on point.
I think they just got too much going on, but they know they need someone for those moments when they need someone.
Yeah, but then it's also like briefing that person, make sure they know what they're doing, get them signed into everything. It takes time.
This is the thing.
This happens.
And that office I used to go back to all the time, and like I'd normally get like a 1 month contract with them, maybe 2 months, and I'd normally spend at least 50% doing nothing. And so I remember one time I worked late. Late was till 12 p.m. and because the team really needed me, and I was like, do you know
12
what?
a.m. You mean?
12 yeah till midnight, 12 a.m. And the next day I came into work, and the CEO saw me. He was like, oh, actually, like, you're in. And I was like, yeah, like I left at midnight, so it's not too bad. And he's like, you left at midnight, yeah? And I was like, cool. He was like, cool. Bear in mind, none of the rest of the team had come in yet because they had all left at like 4 a.m. and I'd gone home at midnight. I then got an email saying, hi, we're going to give you an extra day's pay.
I mean, yeah. They
Yeah,
should.
as the freelancer, the rest of the team got nothing.
Oh, yeah, because if you're not,
If you're permanent, you get fucked
But
all.
sometimes, because at one of the jobs I was permanent, I used to get like a day in lieu or whatever.
Yeah, I think they got like a lunch. Yeah, not good.
I don't want your lunch.
But when you're a freelancer, they literally are shooketh to upset you, and they
Yeah.
give you everything. They always give you more pay.
I think it definitely is better being a freelancer. But it
I'd
depends what
never-
company you work for, I guess. Some companies are like really good and they're really understanding, whatever. But like,
I don't know anyone
A lot of them
who is
aren't.
like they love their company.
Really?
Like they get as they've come, my friends have become more senior, they've got taken more liberties because like they can, but they haven't been got to the point where it's just like, I don't think anyone will be like, oh, I love working.
No. Yeah, I don't think because people will say that. People say it to me. They're like, "Oh, you're so lucky you get to do this," and it is lucky. But at the same time, I always say to people like, nobody wants to work. People want to get up every day and either like A, do nothing, or 2, go and sit by a beach. Let's be realistic.
Yeah,
we
100%.
all want to win a couple 100 million in the fucking lottery and sit there on my yacht and do nothing all day.
Yeah, facts.
Like the dream.
Yes,
but you know we can't get there without.
Alas, it is not our time.
Yeah.
You know. I would have loved to have been a nepo baby, do fuck all and then get a whole career out of it.
Yeah.
But that was not my portion, sadly. Okay, guys, our guest has arrived.
We got a special guest. Your first guest, by the way.
Yeah, first ever guest.
Ever?
Yeah, we've never had a guest
Wow.
before.
So, hi.
Hey,
Afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good.
Busy?
Busy, yeah.
do you want to tell everybody who you are?
Yeah, I'm Jackson, founder of Black Eats. Obviously, you've been to the old
I
venue
have indeed.
multiple times, been to the new venue. And yeah, I run Black Eats London.
So good. I had a great time last summer. Yeah, there were some hot men there.
And there's some hot women too.
Oh,
you
I
know, there's
wasn't
something for
looking.
everyone. There's something for everyone.
Oh, maybe it's like the new dating spot.
I don't know if it's new because it's been
That-
around for
well,
4 years
yeah,
now.
yeah,
It's
4
true.
years.
It
It's
could be,
the dating
you know,
spot,
what
guys.
people might say, a hidden gem.
And I feel like if you
If
go
you
to
know.
something like that, you probably have like similar interests. Like you like to eat food, you like to
Yeah.
try new things. So it's probably a good like
Music.
place to go.
Yeah, it's
true.
great for mingling, great for networking.
Yeah.
Don't say we didn't put you on, guys.
How have you found it? Like, do you run it on your own, or do you have a team?
Yeah, so I've got a small team as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been running these events for like 4 years now. So up until last year, obviously we're using the same space,
Yeah.
which was quite copy and paste, if you want to call it, in terms of like the work behind the scenes. But obviously this year we moved to a new venue, new space, which means almost start from scratch in terms of like the behind the scenes of like building the event. Obviously our network of like traders and all that kind of stuff is already established, but yeah, it is a lot. It is definitely a lot, but we love it.
Do you pick the traders yourself?
Yeah.
So you try everything and you're like, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, and some of it's kind of a bit of trial and error as well. So
Yeah.
like sometimes you'll have someone down there once and you'll listen to people's, you know, TikToks or Instagram reviews, or
Yeah.
you know,
what's
if they
good.
say it to the page or they say it to my face, like, or they say it to the vendor.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll definitely take that on board. So
Oh, vendor.
if
That's
someone's getting
crazy.
trashed constantly,
Yeah, you gotta
you
go.
know,
Oh, wow.
you gotta go. Like as simple as that.
Fair.
Wait, so
So-
let's rewind slightly. So like, let's go back. So you grew up in London, I'm guessing.
Nah.
Oh, so you didn't grow up in London.
No,
I
no.
thought I could hear a little twang
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
So
accent.
nah, I'm originally
Yeah.
from Bristol, Southwest.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, I also lived in Jamaica for 5 years as well. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
was that like? So growing up between Bristol and Jamaica, like what was that like for you?
Bristol is definitely not as diverse as London, but it is still diverse in terms of like comparative to like other cities in the UK. So yeah, there definitely is like a huge like, you know, Caribbean population in Bristol. But obviously it's like pockets, you know, like just like how you have in London, certain pockets are certain
Yeah.
demographics kind of thing. So yeah, not as diverse, but I feel like I was only really there until like the end of like primary school, just like literally as I started year 7, I moved to Jamaica. So
That's
Okay.
crazy.
yeah, I kind of did all of secondary school in Jamaica, because I feel like that's really like your formative years,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Did your parents say you like send you off, or like was it by choice?
We went as a
like,
family, like all of us.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
How
So
was that?
yeah.
I think initially it was a culture shock, because
Yeah.
like coming from the UK, even because obviously like school is like probably the majority of what I was spending my time on. Do you know what I mean? So when you go to school over in Jamaica, like everything is mad disciplined, like compared to over
Yeah.
here where it's like people are bunking lessons, people are setting fire alarms off, people are, you know, getting the Bunsen burners and
It's
doing
true.
madness, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. That don't run in Jamaica. Like
Wow.
you do something as like cut the food line, you're getting beatings. Do you know what I mean? So
Was your teacher smacking you?
I had to fix up still.
A madness.
That's why I said it's a culture shock. Like as soon as I went out there, I was like,
Yeah.
I just saw like, yeah, people heading into the head master's office, and I said, yeah, that's not gonna be me still. So
Wow. Did you
yeah.
learn to cook out there?
I think cooking is just part of lifestyle over there. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll go to like the beach, and you know someone will just catch a couple of fish, and you'll just make a little fire on the beach. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like a casual thing. It's not
Yeah.
like,
Like
a whole
living
like
off the
cooking
land.
lesson kind of thing. But yeah, people just say you're gonna run a boat, and that just means that you're just gonna cook something quickly. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So can you put on like a real Jamaican? You don't have to do it. I'm just asking.
As in
can
an
you?
accent or as in
Yeah.
food?
No.
Well, yeah, I
Jamaican
can
accent.
speak Jamaican, but
Oh, okay.
for me, it's like unless I'm around Jamaicans or in
Yeah.
Jamaica.
Yeah, then it comes out.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
Okay, so then you came back to the UK. What age?
I was fresh out of school, so I was like 15, moving to 16.
Okay, and then you
Yeah,
did college, uni here, or just
Yeah, college, uni here,
Okay.
and then you basically moved to London.
That's nice.
Okay, cool. So that's like a very different upbringing to like
Yeah.
probably what we had even. And then you started this 5 years ago. So like, let's go back to like year one, like on the ground. You just got the idea.
Yeah.
How did that go?
So year one was in lockdown. So literally,
shit.
I forget lockdown was 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
I'm like,
Yeah,
5 years
yeah,
ago was
yeah.
2015. And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
yeah. So literally, same like a lot of people. I was at home, had a bit of spare time. Some people were furloughed, some people weren't. I wasn't furloughed, unluckily. Like I wish I would have got furloughed.
I was furloughed.
Oh,
But
so good.
I furloughed myself through my business.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it was
Well.
it was a good time.
Yeah. Unlucky, I didn't get furloughed. I would have loved that, but it didn't happen. Maybe the next.
Next
we have
one,
another.
I'm like, maybe we can have another one.
So yeah, I kind of was just using my evenings to kind of build it. But the kind of idea came from it's more of like when we were locked down, I think everyone was going mad on shopping. They were buying all of this stuff because they were just bored. Do you know what I mean? And they were spending with all these different companies. And I think at the time everyone was like, shop local, support your local businesses, shop small, stop spending on Amazon because Amazon's like profits were just like going mad. So at the time I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I should be a bit more intentional with my spending as well. Maybe I should spend a little more, you know, with local businesses and whatever. But I thought there was also like the BLM movement, obviously like George Floyd, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, combining the two where it's like shopping small, shopping local, shopping black essentially. How can I do that? So, you know, I'm starting to buy my beard oils from here. I'm starting to buy, you know, skincare from here. I'm starting to buy X, Y, and Z. And I was like, okay, I might be investing £500 a month into black businesses, but what's that really going to do? Like £500 is £500, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing.
Yeah, much. Yeah, stop in the water.
So what can I do to kind of encourage others to do the same? So obviously there was platforms like Jammy who've existed like long before myself. But there was nothing for food, like in the UK anyway. It's literally nothing for food. So I started to kind of do a bit of research and see if there was anything that existed. So I could think, okay, yeah, I'm a foodie. I like to go to restaurants, just like you, you know, where, you know, we'll go to cafes, we'll go to bars, we'll go to restaurants, we'll go to street food spots. Like anywhere there's good food, we'll go there. Do you know what I mean? So I thought if I can make that almost like a lifestyle change rather than like something which feels a bit more like I'm supporting a black business, if that makes sense, which feels more of like, I don't know, more of a reach rather than something which is just natural. Like I'm going to go to a restaurant on Friday, make it a black business rather than like, I'm going to this black business, if that makes sense. So, started to do a bit of research to try and find these restaurants essentially. And there was nothing really out there. There was a few blog posts where they say like, here are 10 to visit, here are 8 to visit, here are 6 to visit, stuff like
And
that.
it's usually like Black History Month, where to go
And like half of those restaurants, they're like delivery only within like a 2-mile radius. They're closed. They're not even black owned. So it was just like almost like useless information. Or you like you'd get to like 3 or 4 restaurants through and you'd just be like, this is long. Like and if you're getting that kind of experience, you're not gonna do it long term. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna get like put off. So I was like, okay, let me try and like collate the ones that are still like visitable, if that makes sense, as well as build others. So that took a good like 2 months of like trawling the internet, sending emails, going out in person. Like,
and they don't be responding, a lot of these black businesses. They don't update their Instagrams. They don't respond. Because sometimes I message, I'm like, you open today? And then like 2 months later, they're like, yes, we are. I'm like, I was there like 2 months ago.
Literally. So like the initial like start of it was, because I wanted it to be accurate as well. So I don't want to say like something's halal and it's not. And I don't want to say something is like vegan friendly and it's not. So I was like sending them like, okay, can you confirm X, Y, and Z? And crickets, like nothing. So the response rate was about 5%.
Oh my God.
And if I wanted to like build something of scale, a 5% response rate was never going to grow like quick enough. So I was just like, okay, let me do it the other way around. I'll like go through your website, go through your menu, go through like Google Maps and like use a street view to see if it looks accessible, like loads of different like techniques to try and get the information and then upload that and then say, you're on the directory, confirm if anything needs to be fixed kind of thing or changed.
So you basically have to do all the groundwork really and truly because they weren't provided.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of work,
So that's kind of how it started with like 100 restaurants. But the month it started was the Eat Out to Help Out scheme. So I'm guessing you guys remember that.
Yes, we do.
I think that's where I first saw you, because there was all of like the carousels that were like go here, go here, go here.
Yeah, exactly. So we did like an infographic on Instagram, and I was like, here's 45 restaurants that are part of it, because I don't know if you remember, you had to like type a postcode in, and then it would show you like based on those. We literally looked through the 100 restaurants, found the 45 that are participating, put an infographic on Instagram and said, here are the 45 doing Eat Out to help out, go and support a local black-owned business. And yeah, that's pretty much where things started.
So that when you say we, at that point, that was just you, right? You were just doing it on your own.
I love it, like,
like you were the team at that point.
Yeah, me, myself, and I.
That's crazy.
And then you posted that, and then I'm guessing that like probably took off a lot. And then from there, so how did you go from that to like a full-on in-person event?
So I guess the origins were around restaurants and the directory, right? All kind of offline, if you want to call it that. So all like online resources, Instagram, social media, stuff like that. We went into lockdown that same year, like back into lockdown, should I say. So that was a Christmas when they're like, you're not seeing your friends, you're not seeing your family, cancel those plans, stay within your bubble, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, so all of these restaurants I've been telling people to go to, no one can go to them anymore. So it's like, what can I do to kind of keep the momentum going and keep the like support of these businesses going? Because I can't tell you to like go and enjoy like the cocktails and all this kind of stuff when literally all there was.
And you
was
weren't
like,
making any money off this at this time?
Literally nothing.
Okay.
So I was like, what part of like food hasn't changed through lockdown? And the only thing that hadn't changed was street food.
Yeah.
So street food was the thing where obviously you can go to this place, they're going to give you some kind of container or some kind of box or tray or whatever it is. And that doesn't change lockdown or non-lockdown. With restaurants, you're getting those foil containers, you're getting plastic containers with lids on. It doesn't look appealing. You know, you slap that on social media, people are like, yuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So street food was the only thing that hadn't changed. So that was research for events I didn't know I was actually doing. So that kind of lockdown period where I was going to like Borough Market, I was going to Chatsworth Road, I was going to like, I don't know, all of these different parks and markets and stuff like that. By promoting those restaurants, I didn't actually realize I was actually building a list of restaurants, which I then used for my event going forward.
That's crazy.
So it wasn't until like 2021, I think it's around like March times, where I kind of bumped into the guys who ran Bohemia Place Market at the time, and they were like, oh, hey, we'd love to do something with you. And I was like, what the hell? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't run events. I don't know what kind of thing. And they were like, yeah, we think we've got like the venue, we've got like the team behind it. Like you've got obviously a following, you've got like this network of traders. We can obviously both leverage our like advantages essentially and make something happen. And that was basically like start of doing events.
That's crazy.
That's sick. It's like fake it till you make it, basically.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Always is.
Just winging it.
So then you had your first event, and that was obviously really successful. And then you just, at what point were you like, cool, like this could be like my business, like this would be it?
Yeah, so I think the point where it turned into a business for sure was Uber approached me 2 months after launching. This was even before the events came around. And they were like, hey, we want to work on this campaign for you, with you for like Black History Month. We want to highlight, I think, like 8 different restaurants. And basically, we can pay you either in Uber credits if you're not a registered business, or
credits
in cash if you're a registered business. So I was like, fuck them credits. Like, like I want to get paid. So that's when I registered the business, which I was like, okay, this is actually not just a hobby, but an actual thing, if you want to call it that. But in terms of the events, like being a thing, I think it was probably after 3 months of like doing them at Bohemia Place Market, that was essentially my trial period. I was like, give me like April, May, June, or May, June, July, whatever it was. And then I'll decide, do I want to carry on doing this? Because like, I was doing this alongside a 9 to 5. So like at the time I was doing like a Monday to Friday shift, like in my 9 to 5, doing a market on a Saturday, Sunday, going back to my 9 to 5 the following week. So that you'd be literally doing 12 days of work straight. And then by the time that next weekend came around, you're just like socializing. I just need to breathe. So it was getting to the point where like the balance of like personal life, side hustle, 9 to 5 was all just like
blood,
too much
chaos.
And I can imagine after you're doing your 9 to 5 as well, you're not even coming home and just being like, let me chill. You're probably like, oh, I've got this to sort out for this weekend.
Literally.
Like, so it's like it's never ending.
Literally, it was just like a constant cycle. But after doing that 3-month trial, I was like, July came around. That's when lockdown was like fully lifted.
Okay.
So at the time when we were doing the markets, we were essentially operating under like essential shopping.
Yeah.
So there was like Tesco, Sainsbury's, like markets. That was the only thing you could do outside, minus like exercising, obviously. So we kind of were like working with a loophole. And when everything was lifted, I was like, okay, this is like judge point. Like, is everyone going to go back to like the rooftops in Central? Are they going to go back to like their favorite spots or whatever it was? And people kept coming, and there's more people coming. And we did like a carnival event in Hackney back in 2021, which was a year where Notting Hill Carnival wasn't on because I don't think they had enough time to plan it outside of lockdown. And we had like, we had like 8,000 people in a literally, you've seen it, like a street in Hackney. And I was like, damn, there's actually something here that is actually pulling people beyond like, I'm bored, it's lockdown, or I just want to support black business, or this is like,
it was like
the BLM movement, like people are supporting beyond
like
that. So I think that was the real turning point where I was like, okay, shit, there's actually something here. Is it time to step away from my 9 to 5 and like fully commit?
Yeah. And then you went full time. And then here we are, almost 5 years later, completely successful. Look at that, guys. Gotta take a leap of faith, man.
I feel like when you do like get rid of that 9 to 5, like whether, because we've both got fired from our 9 to 5s, and that's kind of what has caused us.
We kind of got thrown into going full time.
But once you do that, it really does, because you're like, I have to make this work.
Yeah, 100%.
Or I have to go back there. Like, so you're like, well, I've got no choice.
And after like a year of like working for yourself, you're like, I ain't ever going back to work for somebody else.
I couldn't imagine it now, like that type of environment, especially like corporate.
No way. It's so toxic, and it's so like it's very much like a mental fuck, I think. Like you work for someone else, they're making all the money, you're not making any money, you're killing yourself. And then to come into the world where you like work for yourself, make all your own money. It's like,
having a side hustle and doing it is how do you balance everything? Like you said, you don't want to do another one because it's too much.
I think during the season, which is when I say season, I mean like the warmer months, typically festivals or events usually run in terms of outdoor events. It's from like April to September, October. There's no balance within those months.
So you're just like working non-stop.
That's kind of like
pretty much.
But the problem is we don't have a season.
We have a year. January, February is quite and
January, February is
March, April, May, June.
I would say January to like March.
Yeah, I agree.
If we're lucky, because last year my campaign started around end of February. So from February till December, I was full time, basically working non-stop. This year we've done the same thing. However, we've got 2 new businesses on top of that. So there's no end.
There's no end.
I think it's like it's a toxic point on our point of view as well, because like we're always wanting to build, we're always wanting to do more, we always want to like improve stuff. So it's
100%.
like
and take opportunities as well. You don't want to say no to stuff.
Exactly. So like
you're very bad at saying no.
Sometimes it's too good to say no.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Or you think like I can use this to build something else or whatever. So
and sometimes in my mind I'm like, I have too much to do, but however I can make a quick $2,000, just do it quickly. And then, but then that quick $2,000 turns into no sleep for a week, and you're backlogged on all your other work. And sometimes I think you kind of have to get to a point where you learn to say like, $2,000 isn't worth my worth my time. Like as much as it is like money. I'm just throwing a number out there, but like, is it worth my sanity to like do this extra job? No, so don't do it. You know. But we are running out of time, guys.
We have a few more minutes.
We can do one more question, I think.
Okay.
What's the question you got?
I don't have one. I got loads. Actually,
okay, I got one question. Is like, you said like balancing is like really tough. So like, do you have a personal life or no?
And out of office.
Depends which month.
Is there a Miss Black Eats London?
Oh my god! Don't be asking that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But for me, I think the balance is really tough. Like through the summer. Like through the winter, it's calm because I haven't got events where I'm committed to being somewhere on a Saturday and Sunday, all that kind of stuff. So like during the summer months, that is like really tough, but winter is the balance. But I think what I've tried to do this year is kind of transition slightly where obviously last year you probably saw my events were like every single month, like April right to October. Sometimes there'll be 2 events in 1 month. So literally it was like always on. This year I said, I'm cutting it back. I'm doing 3 events across the whole year. That's it. But in the middle, obviously, we do other events, Recess Land, DLT, like wireless.
So when those events happen, you basically cover all the food vendors for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And are you on the ground every single one?
Majority of them.
Okay.
Majority of them. So it's kind of been a switch in terms of like I've turned off a lot of my own events and turned on a lot of other events. But this year as well, building the team a lot more so I can kind of like spread the load.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I can see having a balance next year.
Okay.
But I think definitely this year has been more of a balance than what I had last year. Last year is like, it was mad.
Okay.
But
worth it?
I think definitely worth it from like the community perspective. Maybe not from my like self like for my own mental health, my own physical health, all that kind of stuff, then no. But in terms of like the
Yeah.
amount of money that I was able to put into the community, then yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
But I think you sometimes have to like self-sacrifice.
You take an L somewhere
But
to like
at the same time, you can't pour from an empty cup. Do you know what I mean?
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
You better
so-
go on a winter holiday, man.
That is a must.
If you want to sign up to one of our group trips,
Do you know what I mean? It's just gonna be better out of offices.
you can come along and everything's sorted for you. You just get to come and relax.
I might have to,
True.
you know.
I
I feel
think
like
you
I need
should.
about 3,
We'll be
4,
doing
5
the
of them
work.
still.
Yeah, then we'll be running around like chickens.
I'll be there like, guys.
That's joke.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure having you.
It has.
I wish we could have
Short
had you
and
for
sweet.
longer.
I
Yeah,
know.
we might have to have you in for a part 2.
Part 2.
We'll get our audience
during,
to send
during the
questions.
balance break.
Yeah, during
Oh.
your balance break, we'll get
We'll
you
be
in
doing it
for-
from the shores somewhere.
Jamaica.
Yeah, in Jamaica.
Nah, definitely I have to go to this year, 100%.
I'm going in November. I'm so
Yeah.
excited. If you got any recommendations, please send. 'Cause it's my first time.
Yeah, where are you going in Jamaica?
Montego Bay.
Okay.
So, food recommendations especially would be great. Because
Porkpalooza.
I'm looking for the jerk.
Yeah, Montego Bay.
I know, but
Not good.
Yeah.
I didn't want to stay at my family's house, so it's
I hear
Montego Bay
it.
for
I
me.
hear it. Sometimes you want like
Holiday.
yeah.
Like I actually want a holiday. So
Mm.
yeah, just want to chillax. Not have my auntie running me down. So
Oh, joke.
it's Montego Bay for me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, at least
guys.
there's no drive from the airport.
Exactly. So
I never been, so I wouldn't know. I'm just
Okay.
here slaving away. I'll be slaving away while you're in Jamaica.
I'll still be online. Anyway, so we've got to wrap it up there, but
Yeah.
we'll see y'all later.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.